Chris Rock and Malaak Compton. Where do we start? The perfect love story that shattered into a messy and expensive divorce. The child they adopted, which Chris later ignored. Or maybe the storm of infidelity, which would eventually lead to their demise. One thing is for sure, this isn't a story with a fairy tale ending. So prepare yourself as we get ready to explore the marriage of Chris Rock and Malaak Compton. Chris Rock has been in the news a lot lately, following that slap from Will Smith. But needless to say, Will isn't the only one roaming planet Earth who would like to give him some payback. Enter Malaak Compton. If you don't know, Chris and Malaak were married after meeting each other when she gatecrashed the Essence Magazine Awards back in 1994. Whether it was love at first sight or not, one thing is for sure, they sure hit it off. So much so that just 2 years later, they got married. What followed was what seemed like the perfect love story. They lived together in a fancy home in Alpine, New Jersey, and had 2 daughters together, Lola, born in 2002, and Zahara later in 2004. They even had a 3rd daughter, Natambi, whom they adopted when she was a baby. But her status was a little more, shall we say, complicated. But more on that later. To start, all looked fine and rosy. Chris even appeared in an interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2002, saying how much he enjoyed being married. When Oprah quizzed him about whether or not it was difficult, he agreed that it was sometimes tough to juggle work and life back at home. So, a few minor adjustments aside, things seemed fine at the Rock household, and they did manage to make 12 years without any speculations of trouble. But alas, it wouldn't last forever. In late 2006, rumors started to circulate that they could be about to break up. It didn't help, of course, that newspapers had reported that Chris may have fathered another child with an undisclosed woman in Atlanta. The response from the seemingly not so happy couple was to release a joint statement saying, "Though we have tried in the past to take the high road and not comment on the tabloid media, we find it necessary to express on record how unfortunate it is that tabloid outlets have chosen to print untrue rumors and lies about our family and marriage. It is extremely hurtful to us, our children, and our extended family. We remain, as always, very happy and committed to our marriage and the beautiful family we have built." Chris was so convinced that he needed to prove his innocence that he submitted a DNA test. Naturally, it came back negative, but in 2007, another woman named Callie Bauer claimed that Chris was also the father of her 13-year-old son. Again, Chris took the test, which confirmed the woman was lying. Fast forward to 2014, and more rumors emerged that Chris was dating actress Rosario Dawson. Although he strongly denied the claims at the time, this really did feel like the last straw for his marriage. That year, just 3 days after Christmas, Chris and Malaak announced they were going their separate ways and that they had already been separated for 6 months. Malaak told People magazine, "After much contemplation and 19 years of marriage, Chris and I have decided to go our separate ways. While recognizing this is a significant change, my children remain at the center of my life, and their well-being is my top priority. It is in this spirit that I sincerely ask that their privacy and the privacy of our family be respected during this transition." The initial amicable tones of the split soon turned sour, however, when Chris claimed that Malaak had been keeping his daughters away from him. E! News managed to get a copy of his divorce filings from the Superior Court of New Jersey, which stated that she had repeatedly refused to grant Chris access to his daughters, and that in doing so had been acting in a manner which was detrimental to the best interests of the 2 girls. Malaak responded, saying that she was saddened and disappointed of keeping their children from him, which we know is untrue and can be so easily disproved. Messy, right? By June 2015, Malaak turned up the heat on Chris when the New York Post published that she was seeking a large portion of Chris's $70 million fortune to maintain her lifestyle. After all, an upscale home in Alpine, New Jersey doesn't come cheap, you know. It also noted that their prenup agreement, stating that they would both get 50-50 custody over their children, had expired since the couple had been married for 20 years. The paper also reported they had court documents that stated Malaak deserved a payout commensurate with the marital standard of living because of all the child-rearing and charitable endeavors she carried out. When the case got to court, Malaak argued that the couple's adopted daughter, who not many people knew about until now, was part of their family, and that as such, Chris should have to pay additional child support. Chris was having none of this, and he countered the claims, detailing that Natombi, who was now 8 years old, was not actually his daughter. He claimed that they did not officially adopt her, rather she just lived with them from the age of 6 months old, and as a result, he wasn't liable to pay any child support. We still don't know if Chris was ever forced to pay for his third daughter, but you can't help but think how hurtful this must have been for Natombi, especially as this also implied that she was in the country illegally at the time. Anyway, the divorce was finally settled, and in 2017, Chris embarked on a nationwide comedy tour in which he lets us in to a few of the reasons as to why the marriage failed. Firstly, he admitted that he cheated on his wife, not once, not twice, but 3 times. He regretted what he did and realized that the whole saga taught him how important it is to take care of the ones you love. Later that year, he took part in a Rolling Stone interview where he said that starting all over again in your 50s is like hitting the reset button. It's not a breakdown, but something in your life broke down, he said. By 2018, he would release a Netflix show in which he delved deeper into how he was feeling. He recalled that, "It's my fault because I'm a f***ing asshole. I didn't listen. I wasn't kind. I had an attitude. I thought, I pay for everything. I can do what I want. That shit don't work. I just thought I was the shit. I don't play the tambourine." Most shocking was that he also admitted that as well as infidelity, his growing addiction to adult films played a big part in their breakup. In his words, "When you start watching adult movies, any dirty movie will do. Then, later, you're all f***ed up and you need a perfect girly cocktail to get you off. I was so f***ed up. I'm a lot better now." Now, as we all know, life goes on after divorce, and a snapshot of 2022 looks very different for both Chris and Malaak. Chris, after various dating rumors, including girlfriend of 4 years, Megalyn Echikunwonke, is currently dating British actress and singer Carmine Yogo, 8 years his senior. Right after splitting with Malaak, he apparently even tried his luck with singer Rihanna, but immediately got uncle zoned. He continues to see both Lola and Zahara on a regular basis, but owing to the claims that he never signed the adoption papers for Natombi, he has not seen his adopted daughter since the divorce. Malaak, who once worked for UNICEF, now continues her career as a humanitarian. In 2010, she wrote a book called "If It Takes a Village, Build One: How I Found Meaning Through a Life of Service and 100+ Ways You Can Too." She is also on the board for the Children's Defense Fund, a nonprofit organization that advocates for poor children of color and those with disabilities. When she is not busy with her work, she is a dedicated mother and often uses her Instagram account to praise her 3 girls. She also took to Instagram in 2021 to show off her new boyfriend. The caption wrote, "Happy birthday to my love. Sweet, kind, loving, romantic, adventurous, fun-loving, inquisitive, giving, and spiritual. A great man, a great friend, a great father, and a great partner. Been around the world and back in 2.5 years. Looking forward to more wonderful adventures. And sweetheart, 60 never looked so good. Love you." And finally, many people like to speculate exactly how much money Chris paid out to Malaak in their divorce settlement. Although we don't know the exact figure, Rock recently joked on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, "This is how much money I lost in my divorce. I recommended my ex-wife's divorce lawyer. This guy is good because I walked out with nothing. I couldn't even afford the tickets tonight. You think I'm joking, but I really did." Whatever the cost, we're glad they've managed to carve new paths in life, just without each other. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more messy episodes.